Dancers are already so comfortable with being uncomfortable. I felt like I was like, I don't know how to balance this. So that's why it was a very great bonus to already have an existing wedding videography business. Are we over planning? Are we over analyzing? Are we trying to be too perfect? Becoming a first-time mom was demanding a lot more for me than I expected. Always diversifying and not just in dance.
Well, welcome Rachel to the channel. I'm so
Thank
happy to have
you.
you. Yeah, we've known each other for a long time. I think we
Yes.
met in 2012, I want to say,
hmm
which
Yeah,
is
2012. So it's
13
17
years.
years ago. hmm
Very long time ago. So we met dancing at Universal in Orlando.
hmm
And so I want to start actually with your dance background, both your training and your professional dance background.
Yes. Well, actually, I was gonna say, we both trained down in South Florida as well, but we
Yeah,
never knew each other,
exactly. We
like
never crossed
before
paths.
that. Yeah. Yeah, so my training started when I was about 6 or 7 years old. Like all of us, very
Yeah,
young.
yeah.
Very young, and I took to it immediately. And then just all throughout school, I was in the studio multiple days a week, multiple
Yep.
classes a day. I did company for a little bit, but I wasn't really into all of like the competition stuff. And then and then from the studio, then I went into middle school with the magnet school program, which was performing arts. And so then I had to audition for that school, got in there. And then in high school, I kind of just did dance team. I didn't really train like in the studio as much anymore. But then as an adult after high school, while I was in college, I was so close to the Miami market, and so I was doing music videos. I was in like a Jennifer Lopez music video, danced on Desk Control with Telemundo. I was one of like those video girls, scrunch the hair, make it
Video
really
girls.
big,
Yeah.
and then fling it. All the hairography.
Yes.
Um, and trying to fake it so you make it, with dance styles that you don't have professional training in. So for me, that was like all of the Latin styles for sure, with like the Miami markets.
Yeah.
And then one day I was just like, you know what? Let me check out these auditions happening in like the theme parks in Orlando and like Tampa. And then that's when I drove up and auditioned for the parade that opened in 2012. And then I got casted as the opening cast. Um, and the rest is history. I thought I was only going to take a 1-year contract in Orlando, and here I am still in Orlando because I met my husband, and now I have a family here and a life here. So, yeah, things take a different turn sometimes, but I'm still
Yeah.
dancing.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I think I had a sort of similar experience, but
Mhm.
I think I didn't realize how amazing the dance scene was in Orlando. But even
Yeah.
being from South Florida, 3 hours away, it's kind of an underrated scene in terms of the amount of talent and the amount of jobs that are there. And
Yeah.
I think the coolest part, which you've really been able to, I guess, capitalize on, is that the right word? I don't know, but
Yeah.
but
Take advantage of, I suppose.
take
Yeah.
advantage of, yeah, is
Yeah.
is that it's sort of in that scene because it's theme parks, it's sort of a 9 to 5 that you can do, but you're
Mhm.
dancing as your 9 to 5. So it's a bit different to some of the shows, maybe in New York, like a Broadway show is generally
Yeah.
at night unless it's the matinee, or somewhere
hmm
like Vegas, or you're doing Cirque du Soleil or something where they're kind of nighttime
hmm
shows and the schedule can be kind of tricky to balance other things. But in
Sure.
Orlando, it's kind of cool in that way because they're open during the day, and obviously there is some
hmm
night stuff, but yeah, and it's such a good scene with so many good shows and so many good opportunities. But
Definitely.
yeah, it's a similar experience where you kind of not get swept away in things, but it does just kind of one thing leads to another. You do one show, another show, another show. So it can be a really good way to build your dance career at theme parks. So
Yes. I wanted to add to that is that what's really nice too is that the like the cadence of like kind of like the circadian rhythm of life, working in theme parks, like you said, because it is during the day. I feel, and then also it's like when our shows open, they're not just open for like one season or like even though my contract is year to year, um like my show I do now has we're coming on to our 9 year anniversary next week, and it's just wild that like we've been open this long.
Yeah, well, I
But
I
we're
trained
always,
in
you never,
yeah, yeah, I
yeah.
trained in that show. I was in the opening
Mhm.
cast with you in that show.
Yep.
This is the Marilyn Monroe Bella's show, and I've
Hmm.
been retired for 7 years, like seven
Yeah,
or
I
8 years.
know.
Maybe not quite that long. That seems like too long, but it's been open that whole time. So, you can just
Hmm.
kind of yeah, stick around if you want to, and it's just consistent, which you don't get a lot in the dance industry.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm sure we'll get more into this, but like it's so nice because we have such long breaks and like multiple breaks throughout the day. That like when I go on set and I'm so like zoned into like what I'm doing on set, I'm able to it's almost like sometimes I'm like I this is my body is so autopilot into this now. I can do this and I can think about what I'm gonna do on my next break for like my side business.
Yeah. Well, I do want to get into that. So
Yeah.
you have your side business, and obviously you have a
Yeah.
family now, a young family. And
Mhm.
so with the business, when did you start your business? Why did you start your business?
Yeah, so we got married in 2017. So that was like, I think that that was kind of like the year after we opened the Marilyn Monroe show. And then, so yeah, I got married in 2017. It was like really quick. I just like, because my dad had like cancer, we were like, we need to like just plan this really quickly. So I kind of scrapped all like the big wedding plans and then like replanned our wedding into like a small wedding down in Miami um within like 3 months or something like that. And I then was like, oh gosh, okay, well, like, do I want to get videography? I'm not sure because like I already got a photographer, but at this time, like wedding video was like still not really what wedding video is today. And I couldn't like find someone that I really was like, I'm willing to drop like thousands of dollars on this videographer.
Yeah.
I found one and they were still like outside of my budget because I didn't have this long lead time to be able to invest and save for wedding videographers. So I was like, you know what? Let me just, I know how to do this, like, because I just got off of a tour in 2015 and I did the travel vlogging, like, and I was
Mm.
like the media mentor on the tour as well. And so, I just like was very self-taught with videography back like when I was also on tour because I did an online course for commercial videography while I was on tour. And
Yeah.
so I was always interested in videography especially from my days of being like with like music videos and stuff and being
Right.
exposed to that. And so I always had an interest of it in it and I was like, okay, if I were to like add on a new skill set, like what would that be? And I was like, I would do videography. And so then like I learned that while I was on tour. And so then when I came home from tour, I then like kind of used it to benefit myself for my own wedding. And then because people had just heard that and then like had seen some of the footage I had captured, then people started asking me, can you film our wedding too? And it just kind of snowballed from there. I've never actually been on the Knot or marketed on any of like the mainstream like wedding channels. It's just like word of mouth, growing relationships, networking. Um, and I would say it's like it's been a very useful second stream of income. So,
Yeah. Well, yeah,
yeah.
because then the pandemic happened and, many things. I think it
Mhm.
just keeps you kind of, it keeps the dance life sustainable. And I did
Mhm.
a similar thing, but with content writing.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Oh yeah, I remember
people
that. Yeah.
people would have heard, if they follow Pivot or anything, is that the way I transitioned was through content writing, but I started a side business while I was dancing. So on those
Yeah.
breaks or when I was in Vegas and had a nighttime show, I just during the
Mhm.
day, I would do the freelance thing with content writing, and it does just kind of snowball from there. You meet people, they hear about you, and then
Hmm.
you kind of can use your network. And that's what I say to
Yeah.
dancers all the time, where it's like, what are you interested in at all? Maybe it's social media, maybe it's videography, maybe it's content writing or starting a blog or starting a YouTube
Hmm.
channel or anything like that. Just
Yeah.
start with the people that you know. Like for me, my grandparents have their own business, so it's like, can I do content writing for you? Yes,
Yeah.
and it
Mhm.
just gives you a portfolio. Or for you, it's
Yeah.
like, oh, my friend's getting married. Can I do your videography? And just
Hmm.
start building your portfolio that way. I think
Yeah.
that's one of, if not the best way to get your foot in the door into something new and just try it out too. Very low
Yeah.
stakes. It's like you can just get your thing rolling.
Exactly. Yeah, and I think I always say like to so many, like I was just actually talking to one of our other dancers in our show because she wants to start a business in the wedding industry too. And I was like, one thing's for sure is that like whether you are like the main creator of that business or you are like um just like starting it and you want to scale it into something, I would say it's like dancers are already so comfortable with being uncomfortable and
Yeah.
we're comfortable with like rejection. We're
Yep.
comfortable with so many things that the average person literally gets like anxiety and
Like
shuts down with.
hives. Yeah.
Exactly. And like I think that dancers don't give themselves enough credit for like how well they deal with like being rejected, how
Yep.
well they deal with like being told no, how
Yeah.
well they deal with like but then also how well they also kind of like communicate and show face and show up.
Yes.
Dancers are also very disciplined, so they can work through uncomfortability. So I think that that's one thing a lot of people don't give themselves credit for.
Totally. Yeah. And I think because we are kind of when you're dancing professionally and when you're just in that mode, when you're just in the dance
Hmm.
world, we're all kind of like that. So you're thinking, okay, this is how the world is. But then you step into like a different situation. I know for me, I work in the corporate world now,
Hmm.
and people are shocked when I can just like pop into a meeting and it's just fine and I can just share what I need to share and I don't have to do all this prep. And I'm like,
Yeah,
okay, so that's a strength from dance where I'm like not afraid to present on camera, or it does take some getting used to with talking because it's not dancing.
for
But
sure.
compared to people who have never been on a stage or have never been to an audition, it's just
Hmm.
next level. So I think you're totally
Yeah.
spot on. Um, in terms of, I also want to talk a little bit about motherhood. So I know you're a mom now
Yeah.
too, which
Hmm.
is amazing. And yeah, so did you have any like identity crisis or anything like that with your identity? Because I know that's a big thing with dancers too, like not only stepping into the videographer version of Rachel, but like mom version.
Hmm. Yeah, like so I had my daughter, her name's Lana in 2022. So after the pandemic, but also in 2022, that was the bottleneck year of our wedding videography clients that all canceled from 2020 and 2021.
Right.
So I felt like I was like, I don't know how to balance this.
What am I doing? Yeah.
Because it was the busiest year I ever had as a wedding videography company. But then, and my husband, he's obviously helping me like raise a child. But then he's also like the person that helps me film weddings. So either way, it just was like wild that like, I don't even know. It's kind of a blur that
Yeah.
year.
It just
Um,
happened.
it just happened, yeah. But luckily we have like family. We do have like some family close by, so that was helpful. But more or less, like it really aligned. Like I just have to be like, praise God that that even lined up because a great thing with like Universal and like the theme parks is because I've been a full-time performer there. I had a really generous maternity leave, so it was like. I think it's changed since then even more, but I think I had like 8 weeks paid, and then I had like 6 full months of job protected leave. And because I
Mhm.
had an emergency C-section, I was able to stack on the front end of my maternity leave, 8 weeks of short-term disability. So I got
Right.
paid for short-term disability, then for maternity leave for the 8 weeks, and then I had job protected time for like 6 months after that. So I think I took like 8 months off.
Yeah, nice.
And that was but it was like it was that span between where the pay ended and then like the additional 6 months was all unpaid. So that's why it was a very great like bonus to already have an existing wedding videography business.
Yeah.
Um to supplement the income in a way that I was able to still stay at home and maximize time with my newborn. So there was a lot of shifting things that like were laying over each other. And then so a lot of overlays of like where my mindset and identity is too. So
Mm. You're
obviously
like
throughout all of that.
switching, like it's like task switching, but for yourself.
Yes, yeah. And I mean, I always still do that. Like this weekend, I'm about to fly out to a wedding, in North Carolina tomorrow. And then like, but like last weekend, I was like super like homemaker mom mode and hosted a whole 3-year-old birthday party, pool
Yep.
party at our house. And then this week I went into like dancing and then it was like, and then prep for this wedding. So it really does shift and the roles and the mindset shifts like every week. Um, so it's just like staying organized
Mm.
in every way possible with all of the other moving parts so that my mindset can kind of trail along with it.
Yeah, totally. Well,
Yeah.
you say mindsets. I'm wondering what other mindset shifts were important to you during that time and even sounds like day to day.
Yeah, well, it's very much so like imperfect action. I've like made some videos about this on like my YouTube channel, but like sometimes like it's just like, are we over planning? Are we over analyzing? Are we trying to be too perfect? Like even and it was hard for me even like with the deliverable like product that I give, for example, like a wedding videography collection to a client, it's like I could still keep editing that and finding ways to fine tune it and like do everything. But unless I like put my foot down and be more disciplined and be like, no, you've already spent this amount of time working on it. It's good where it is. It's great. Like I've already had like my husband watch it and he thinks it's great. Um, then I'll be like, okay, great, we're gonna send it out.
Yeah.
Um, and also releasing a little bit of creative control too is another mindset shift. I've had to, when I became a mom, I had to outsource some editing that year in 2022 because like becoming a first-time mom was demanding a lot more for me than I expected. Like I was very much so like I wanted to breastfeed. I wanted to exclusively breastfeed. We also had like health issues, like health things going on. So any free time I had, I wasn't editing or working on
Yeah.
my business. I was researching what
Yeah.
I could for my child's health
Yes.
and
Yeah.
doctors.
Number one
So
priority.
like yeah, a little bit more important. So I had to release that creative control and switching my mindset with that too. But I embraced technology a little bit more. Like I do video screen recordings to give my notes to my editor. So I stepped a little bit more into the creative direction role within my business versus like the technician of my business.
Yeah.
Because I think that's one thing a lot of like artists in general are kind of stuck in this like, let me be the artist and the technician and like the everything of a business because I hold like ego to it, but it's like releasing that and like showing that you are irreplaceable in another way in your business and that and constantly move in the direction of like how can I get this to work like for me and even without me one day
Yeah.
um if I wanted it to because that's kind of like I kind of was like, moving forward, I need like the short-term disability protocol for my business or like the maternity
Yeah,
leave
exactly.
protocol.
Just like what happens in an emergency? How is this actually well, because when it comes down to it, it's a business, right? So it's
Mhm.
not a passion project, it's a business. So kind of
Yeah.
and I've had that even with Pivot, like trying to think of it because I'm so passionate about it and I'm sure you're so passionate about your videos that have your name on it. And
Exactly.
you
Yeah.
should be, but it's being like, no, this is a business, so we need to make it work. It can still be, you can still do stuff on the side
Hmm.
but it's like filling a different thing. It's like the passion bucket is a different bucket that you still need to
Yeah.
maintain. And I think that's a big thing with dance careers as well, where it's like, your dance career is a business. Like if you're not making
Yeah.
money from your dance career, then it's not a
Hmm.
business. Like it's not working.
Yeah.
And it's like separate the two buckets of this is a sustainable career thing for me because it's making money for me. So what do I do
Hmm.
in that bucket? But in terms of the passion bucket, I actually think a lot of dancers skip the passion bucket sometimes. And it's like,
Hmm.
when's the last time you took class just for yourself? Or like, when's the last time that you went to go see a show because you
Hmm.
want to, support the community or whatever, like you're so
Yeah.
focused on the work side of it that
Hmm.
maybe you've forgotten about the passion side and vice versa. So it's like if you're so focused on the passion part of it or you're so focused
Hmm.
on the ego part of it, sort of like what you said, then you're
Yeah.
not it's not actually a business. It's not actually what it is. So it's almost compartmentalizing them a little bit. But I also
Yeah,
like
for
what you
sure.
said about the imperfect action because I think dancers too are such perfectionists in general, as a generalization. We want things to be
Yeah.
perfect, and if we could, we would, do things over and over again to get the perfect outcome, which
Yeah.
doesn't exist really, but it's definitely like done is better than perfect is one that I always
Hmm.
say where it's like just get it done and especially for things that will that like kind of don't matter in the end, like again just
Yeah.
prioritizing properly so that
Yeah, for sure.
you are doing the right things. Yeah.
Yeah, I like to look at and like to your point of like prioritizing properly, I like to just kind of look at every single like I kind of try to like group out my year now in like quarters
Yeah,
because it's not like have you read that book, the 12-week year
no,
or
I
heard of
haven't.
it? It's just like the theory that like you can actually like some people achieve more in like 12 weeks than they do in a whole year.
Mm,
And how like maybe just set goals for the next 12 weeks versus like
right.
for the next year. And then it also coincides with like Parkinson's law of like a task or project will take the full allotted time that you give it.
Yeah,
It's like if you
yeah,
give yourself a full year to complete something, it's truly going to take that long. But if you give
yeah,
yourself 12 weeks, maybe you'll get it done in 12 weeks.
yeah, totally.
Um, and so I just kind of look at seasons. So like
Mm,
January, February, March, I was really like in wedding season and trying to book out the rest of my 2025, maybe early 2026 season or year. And so I didn't put as much attention into like my coaching side of my endeavors, like my coaching and like productivity, one-on-one stuff that I do with people. And so instead, I just was like pouring into kind of like where are my leads coming from for like the wedding videography business. Okay, and then I did like an education course with that. And so I was just kind of like getting into a new like rebrand for the year and kind of refining a little bit of that. And so now that's in place and now I'm like starting back up on like my YouTube stuff. Even though we're here in like the middle of the year now and it's like June, it's like okay, I still needed to like I wanted to do it sooner, but we're here and like it's about to be June. it's okay. We still have the whole rest of the year. Because also too, like all these auditions popped up, and you know how they just pop up out of nowhere and you're
Yeah.
unprepared. And so it's like from literally like it was like March, April, May, just like all these auditions were dropping. And so I was like, all right, let me put a hold on all this stuff and try to, submit for these things. But again, it's I think another mindset is just always diversifying. Always
Yes.
like just always diversifying and not just in dance. Like diversify
Yes.
even in like another skill set. So,
100%. Like, don't have all your eggs in one basket. And I think you're the perfect example of this, where you don't
thanks.
have to stop dance cold turkey. Like, why can't you do multiple things? I think
Yeah.
dancers a lot of the time, and I was definitely like this, where you think you have to be 100% focused on your dance career, or like if you have a plan B, you don't want it enough. Like, that's a big, I think,
Mm,
myth, really, that if you
yeah.
dabble in anything else to support yourself
Mhm.
and make your life sustainable and diversified, then that's
Yeah.
somehow frowned upon. And it just doesn't have to be. Like, you can still, yeah, if you are diversified, it does make it easier to jump into those auditions and be able to give focus to that, because you're not struggling financially, where it's like, oh, I have to work this day job now that's not as
Yeah.
flexible and that doesn't pay as well, because it's just
Hmm.
a, I don't know, I'm like working at a restaurant or something. It's,
Yeah, for sure.
and I know a lot of people who went into other things and actually their dance career was better than ever, which I
Oh,
love to
okay.
hear, because they just had, the pressure was off to like
Hmm.
be like, I need this job. Like the classic chorus line, like, I really need
Yeah.
this job. Like, you just don't want to be in that desperate
Yeah.
state. And
Hmm.
diversifying, not putting all your eggs in one basket, helps you
Yeah.
do that. So for some people, it actually can be a benefit to their dance career. But even
Hmm.
if it's not, it's still a benefit to your life and just being well-rounded. And for, whatever, because anything could happen too. You could get injured.
Hmm.
When you start a family, it could be your whole priorities could shift and you'd be like, maybe I just want to do this. And you haven't
Hmm.
prepared for that. Or,
Yeah.
just anything could happen. You could have to move. You could, when you get married or you have a partner, and
Hmm.
you have to consider this other person, like maybe they get a job somewhere else. And so anything could happen. I think,
Yeah.
yeah, not having all your eggs in one basket only benefits you long term.
Absolutely. Yeah, and like I was actually even gonna like praise the fact that like I saw you have like your course. Is it kind of
Yeah.
like a course, like a career coaching course, which is great. And I was like I'm even moving in the direction too of like sure like wedding videography is like my one-to-one stuff. But like the way that I have like built a business and then balanced everything. Like I really want to, I'm starting to like put out more digital products myself. And then I was actually like, I'm doing a little bit of a campaign to like kind of test the market of like
Yeah.
a mini course of like how people can DIY their wedding videography or content creation, basically like how I did for my wedding
Yeah.
and save them money. So
Yeah.
uh yeah, I was like some that's my current other side project. Multiple
Cool. Yeah,
multiple
it,
side
it it
projects.
never stops, right? So
No,
yeah,
it never
I'm
does.
I'm all about it. So, and it's, yeah, I do have a course and I have an ebook and obviously a YouTube channel. And yeah,
Hmm.
I think it's more just for me getting the message out with Pivot for Dancers and sharing stories like yours, to be like, you don't have to just be one thing. You can be lots of different things all at the same time. Um,
Hmm.
you can juggle it all. You just need a few mindset shifts. So I
Yeah.
think, yeah, I think we could probably go on and on, but
Yeah.
if we wrap it up here, I'd love for you to share where people can find you and your content.
Yeah, so I'm on YouTube as just Rachel Lee. And then on Instagram, I have my wedding videography page, which is more portfolio stuff, and that's at Rachel Lee Films. And then my business and lifestyle page, kind of the behind the scenes and everything we're talking about here, is over at rachellee.mov. Um, like a movie file dot
Oh,
.mov.
love it. Love it.
And yeah, and then my videography company is gnarlyfilms.com. So yeah, that's kind of
Amazing.
all the avenues.
Yeah, I love it. Well, thank you so
Yeah,
much for joining me and sharing a bit of your story. It's been, yeah, great to catch up.
I know it has.